Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday episode of Waters of the Deep. Woo, bo, 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 bo. Time filler noises. You know how it works. But yeah, welcome. Excited to be here. Episode 34. Last week, let me get the world map up here for the camera. The wonderful crew of the Rock and a Hard Place, our wonderful adventurers, had left Haven to perform jobs to keep Odess from going to the pits, to the mines, as part of his, we'll call it community service. Um,
I
got a
think
couple of
it's
the
retribution.
community service. Um, it starts with an R. I don't remember the word.
Brad, answer the question. What is it you pay when you got a restitution?
Restitution. There you go. Restitution. But some 22 days later, after completing a couple jobs, getting into a couple of fights, almost fucking a siren, and meeting Silt's family, the crew has set for what is hopefully their last job on the way back to Haven. Making preparations to dive deep in pirate controlled territory and recover an item. Mr. Odess had informed Silt that he needs to do some midnight soaking, as it were, with a trident collected some episodes ago. Which he did, at the end of which resulted in him being raised out of the water, and that's pretty much where we left off. If anybody's got anything they want to toss in as back notes, feel free.
We have to do rock and hard place. Isn't that where we were?
Yeah, because we sent her family off.
Yeah, you guys are on the right map.
Okay.
It's
Well,
updated.
I have the rock and hard place saved in case I need to get inventory or something.
Mm-hmm.
And mine is an older one, and it won't take me if you want to correct me on it.
Oh, well, yeah, it shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but I don't know.
At the top of the old map, what does it say for the title?
I don't know. I just pitched it because I gave you a new one.
Okay.
As you give us a new one, I pitch you over.
I think you're looking at rock and a hard place. It should be rock in a hard place.
Yep, I bet that's what it was. Rock and a hard place. Yep.
Yeah. So, but this is where we are as Odess was raised out of the waters. The waters continue to rise, lifting you up above the surface, Odess, and setting you on the deck of the ship, right in front of all your people. And did you get time to review that item sheet, Brad?
I did. I will review it very quickly as we were talking.
Okay.
But I do. Yeah. I know
Okay.
what you're getting at, and I do remember that those were there.
Well, being attuned to it, you are aware of all the details of it,
Gotcha.
just for conversation's sake. As Odess is placed down on the deck of the ship, thunder cracks the sky. But it doesn't come from the sky, it comes from you guys. It comes from the ship. Loud enough that you don't know exactly where it came from. And you all kind of flinch and then look around, and as you look around, you can see Silt having like thunder wave energy coming off of her arms and shoulders, and she's doing the typical 90s movie when you get imbued with power, the thing, which lasts all of about 5 seconds. And then she's standing there like nothing happened.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah, Scout does say that 'cause she's confused as fuck. What does it all mean?
Pearl's gonna look at Galen and kind of do the, you can see me, the whole like let's get kind of close to her, but not that close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And see if she reacts to like anything. I don't know.
Question, above table question. When you level up, can you swap out more spells? Or is that just it?
So that's class specific.
Okay, yeah.
And you have to take a level in the class that you want to swap the spell for, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yep, it does.
Okay.
Start paying attention.
Okay. Well, you just basically got thunder waved for the reason that we discussed a couple days ago.
Awesome.
So you all stand there. You all appear normal now. Well, as normal as you can appear. And yeah. Your guys' moment, so.
Otis will pull out a trident and hand it to Pearl and say, I don't think I'm going to be needing this anymore. And I'll put that in the party sheet. Maybe. No? Won't we put it in the party sheet?
I'll transfer it. Which one is it?
There it goes. It's in there.
Got it. Okay. So Pam, just open up the party sheet and drag that onto your inventory, and that is yours now.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, you said he's holding bright shiny new trident?
It is a new trident, seemingly made with gold and silver threads, if I recall correctly. Along the entire length of it is ornated with various sea creatures, from squids to shells.
That old trident I got for him?
It looks similar, just much, much, much newer.
Fancy bad. Godified.
Godified?
Did you have to spend
Can
12
use
hours?
it.
12 hours underwater, like polishing your rod and buddy?
Sorry. So I can use it like the regular trident?
So,
Get a regular trident.
so that trident you got, Pearl, you'll have to attune to it. If you click that box on the far right side of it, it tells you everything it does. But in order to get that, you have to attune to it, which takes at least a short rest. Until then, you can use it, but it'll just be a regular trident.
Okay, it wouldn't do the other beautiful stuff that it does in the box. Okay, got it.
Not until you attune to it.
That's the one that glows and flashes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pretty one. Okay. Thank you.
Patty, don't be jealous because I have a polished rod and
Well, I mean, I'm not walking away with itchies either, so
I'm not itchy either.
we're the other day, buddy. I noticed.
Did he notice?
I'm gonna real quick above table, real quick, Katie, with your new class, if you get a spell because of your subclass on that you already had selected from being a warlock, then you can pick a new warlock spell.
Okay. There was no overlap this time.
Okay. If there ever is, you just pick a new one.
Okay.
Yep.
But anyways, I'll jump to the side. Looks cool, dude. What you got in there?
Well, it's a trident.
Yeah, that looks fancy.
I think that's Poseidon's trident. I have it on good authority.
He's gonna look at the whip and say, "Snitches get stitches."
I think I was the snitch here because he didn't.
Oh. So now you got somebody special wrapped around your waist, and now he's holding on to somebody else. Jesus.
Look,
Y'all
man, when you
people
play
and
with
holding on
gods.
to God.
Well,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, seems complicated.
Really does.
that is an understatement. Very much so. Fun stuff.
So what is it? Do you have a god talking in your head now?
I don't know. They didn't like to talk.
Hey, with my new mind telepathy power, I'm going to say into Odessa's head, maybe you don't have a god talking in your head, but I can talk in you now.
In my, I would immediately look at Scylla and say, "Stay the fuck out of there."
And I'd be laughing, like I'm not really gonna, obviously. I'm not
This is
really gonna-
really doing good morale for now, let me tell you.
To be clear, it wasn't an angry "stay the fuck out of there." It was more of like a, "Hey, knock the shit off."
Yeah, like
Took it that way.
I'm just joshing you.
But yeah, I mean, they didn't need to talk to me, so we'll see where this thing leads to. I guess I didn't really have any other ideas of what to do or where to go with this, so fuck it, might as well.
We ready to move on now?
I suppose.
All right.
Talk more about things as we go.
You guys had set anchor while he was attuning. Okay. So, spend the next 10-15 minutes getting the ship ready to sail and getting back underway. It is morning, so I'm going to go ahead and need all the morning rolls for everybody. So, navigation from Pearl. Given the excitement and happy collaboration, I do not need a con save from you today, Gallon. And then, Katie, your morning stuff. Oh, that was all. I saw your face, and then I looked and saw the 2, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Pearl, nav check.
I'm gonna give you an insight roll for my language learning.
I'm having issues.
Okay.
No, never mind. Hold on. Oh lord. That
Yes, my
roll?
child.
This is like frozen.
No, you got it. You're good.
Okay. And I'm drinking from my little vial too.
Okay. Perfecto.
I take a shot. Bloody Mary.
Extra bloody.
No, call him Bloody Gallon, please. Let's be honest here.
Bloody gallons.
That is true. Bloody
Oh, a gallon of blood. There it is. There
There
it
you
is.
go. Love it.
Oh,
Love
Jesus.
it.
Katie, I will answer your question off table If I don't remember at the end of the game, just remind me, please. Okay, so you guys set a course. The ship hasn't moved because you were anchored all night. And you are on your way easterly again. Whose turn is it? Taddy, a D20, if you would be so kind. Okay. The day is yours. Conversations, finishing planning.
I mean, from what I recall, we kind of came to a point with planning on get to the area, swim down, check it out. We're not actually going to park the boat over it yet. Once we decipher where it is, what it is, how the hell to get out of the building, if we gotta get out of the building, back to the ship, and then go from there. Does that
I
sound about
don't
right?
know. I don't know if it's gonna work, but what about? I have something in my inventory. It's a portable hole. A portable hole. Like a hole that can take us somewhere.
As you all look very questionable at what the fuck that is, Pearl will pull out a little, looks like a handkerchief, out of a pouch. And when she unfolds it, let me pull up the stats on it to make sure I get the dimensions right. But she unfolds it, and as she unfolds it, it turns like a blackish color. And she lays it out on the deck of the ship. And it is a circular sheet, approximately 6 feet in diameter. And when she places it on the deck of the ship, the hole becomes a cylindrical space 10 feet deep.
Hold that back up. So it's like a big flat. It's a handkerchief of holding.
Right?
Something like that.
That's probably the best correlation.
That is awesome.
And she goes, essentially, yeah. And she, like, grabs a corner and picks it right up, and it turns right back into a handkerchief.
Good score.
I feel like I'm gonna mess this up, but to whisper it's /W space the character, right?
Yes.
Just
Or you can right click.
right click the portrait at the top. There's a whisper option.
Yep.
Yay! Yay! Fuck! Click the wrong button!
You want some help? I can come over there real quick.
No, I'm good. It's a whisper for a reason.
You don't want you in her business, bro. Get out of it.
Get up out my Kool-Aid, homie. All right, so Pearl has shown you the handkerchief of holding, quote unquote.
Well, that will be very helpful.
And then stands there and goes, "Will it maybe?"
Say, I'll have to double check the dimensions, but hearing that it's at least 10 feet deep, I'm guessing yes.
I believe the item you need is 4 by 3 by 4, if I recall correctly.
It's 4 by something, but
Doing job 6. I'll just put it up so everybody's got it fresh. 4 by 3 by 4. And that was a 6-foot diameter hole, so those dimensions would fit the item perfectly. At that point, all you'd have to worry about is moving the item into the hole without breaking it.
There you go.
Right. I mean, hell, sounds like something to take Pearl with us down there with the initial checkout. If we can figure it out for handy little handkerchief, we'll just grab it then. If not, we'll come back out. Come back up and figure sure. Just checking.
And worst case scenario, I have a potion that allows me 6 hours of water.
Damn.
I know.
I got a couple, but mine ain't 6 hours. Mine's like 20. Shit.
I think I have a couple too.
Yeah.
Pam, Pearl would know that she's never had issues holding her breath for highly extended periods of time.
Yeah. But just in case, I don't know if I ever did 6 hours underwater. Like a mermaid, so.
You have.
Never mind. I have. But just in case.
All right. Well, there's our plan. We're set.
Who's staying with the boat?
I kind of figured you would since you don't like water.
Yeah, someone who doesn't like water out on the water.
Right.
I will happily stay with the boat.
Do we just need one to stay with the boat, or should there be two?
I can communicate with you guys now as long as
Yeah, so if anything weird happens,
How far out can you communicate?
I can communicate up to 4 miles.
Shit.
that's a lot of
Yeah, that dwarfs mine. Mine's like a mile.
You're definitely staying out of my head.
Look, I will stay out of your head unless it's absolutely necessary.
Take note of that, Katie, as it's a new ability. You have to see the creature when you establish the link, and they have to be within 30 feet of you. So you have to pre-establish the link, and then you're good up to 4 miles.
Who wants to play radio?
How long does it last?
Forever.
Oh, I guess it
I
doesn't
don't even know what
just
Oh, yeah, it only lasts a minute.
Oh,
I missed that part, too.
Or whichever one of the breaker earrings that Gal had.
we'll just use mine. Because the earrings are, don't go that far. They're like 300 feet. But my abilities go a mile.
and they last long.
Yeah.
So if you guys set up a daisy chain, you could get like 1.25 mile. 1 mile and 600 feet.
It's for 1 hour. And it can go up to 1 mile. I can do loops.
I'm gonna take a look through. I'm assuming we haven't gotten to where we're going yet.
No, I actually need you guys to go on the map and show me where you want to stop the ship. Based on the approximate location of the X where you are headed.
What is this? About a mile?
It's a day's worth of travel. Your ship can go. Give me a second.
Where was it written down where the other people that have tried this, I think they stay X amount of distance units away from the boat?
It didn't give a distance. It's in the job listing. It just says, I've sent a crew who claims to have swam to these ruins and returned with an item I require another of. So it doesn't say where they swam from. Just that they swam.
8 days west, another day southwest.
Let's see.
That would tell us about
Your ship can sail 5 miles an hour. Each square is a day's worth of sailing. So 120 miles a day. So 1 grid square is 120 miles.
Feel it that in order to get, if we're within a mile of the ship, they're gonna be able to see us anyway.
Yep.
Let's investigate.
Probably depends on the weather, to be honest.
Weather is a big impactor.
Yeah. I would wager half a day to a day, at least. Since walking or swimming is going to be at least a couple days out.
Is Gal, is your boat small enough to be more, to be less visible?
Pearl would speak up and know that you can usually spot a ship about 12 miles out. Anything more than that, it's too small to pick out as a ship.
And what about a smaller boat?
Smaller it is, the harder it is to spot.
I think we've established that
Oh,
that boat is like a 12-foot boat. That's
I
like
mean,
the largest. Yeah.
yeah, but even if we use this small boat, once we get there, you can put it away. Nobody will be able to see it anyways. And then you just pull it back out when you're ready to leave.
And that boat had two different options on it. The largest one makes it 24 feet long, 8 feet wide, 6 feet deep. Has a deck, rowing seats, 5 sets of oars, a steering oar, an anchor, a deck cabin, and a mast with a square sail. It can fit 15 creatures comfortably. The smaller version is 10 feet long, 4 feet wide, 2 feet deep. That one only has oars and anchor. Oh, it does have a mast. And a lateen sail. And that can hold up to 4 creatures comfortably. So both of them have a mast. They just won't sail as fast. They'll sail like 4 miles an hour, basically.
Sail, use the oars to be less visible.
Correct.
Do we want to see if we got needle and thread and see if we can make the opening on Otis's special bag a little bigger? Just put the ship in it?
Well, hey,
We're not.
Pearl, you have darkness, right?
Yes.
So what if you use the small boat at night with darkness cast in front of it, so it's just a dark blob in the darkness?
Oh, that's in the off chance there's something we gotta hide from. If there
Right,
ends
if
up
you're
not
just
being
getting closer.
anything,
Yeah.
then we don't
Yeah.
even need to.
I'm just assuming the worst. There's gonna be a ship.
Well, yeah. No. Planning for.
Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, no, I'm with you on it. I'm just saying, let's not waste a spell that we end up not needing to.
Oh, right.
Knowing that,
Yeah.
but knowing that we have it available, and we have a game plan to use it. Hell, that works.
Right.
All right. Well, so we're going to what? A sail away or so. That way our ship is visible. Obviously, Pearl, myself, for sure. That way I can sneak in, make sure there's nothing in there before we start trancing in. Otis, are you coming with, or are you gonna stick with Sil? And same goes for Gallon. You're the two.
I mean, I'm literally from the ocean, so I feel like it'd be a mistake for me to stay.
Yeah, I might be able to help find the object.
And also, my abilities for going swimming.
All right, yeah. I mean, yeah, but that's gonna leave Sil her by herself.
I got it. I'll just be here.
Well, I know you can handle it yourself, but if another
no,
come
that's
along.
that's what I mean. I think I can handle myself through most of the things.
I mean, it takes one to steer the boat and another one to do anchors and masts and sails and
Oh, Trevor's just gonna sit here and go fishing for a couple of days. It's a holiday weekend, I hear.
You hate fish.
No. Trevor doesn't.
You can see Silk kind of make a gagging, like a, at the mention of the fish.
I'll let you guys clean and quick get back. I'll save that for you so you feel involved. Exactly.
I mean, we left Pearl on her own for like 3 days.
well, that was dock.
Well, we anchored with her so that you can just hold steady while we're gone.
All the boat has an anchor.
Yeah, but they got that magic anchor. Is that the one we're talking about?
Well, I mean, there's just a regular anchor on the ship too.
Yeah, we got one.
No.
That might be. Maybe I'll just use that because that'll look less obvious. Special if somebody happens upon Trevor fishing on his Labor Day weekend.
Sounds like we have a plan.
Okay. So you're gonna stop the rock in a hard place a few miles out, and then go in on the little boat. And Silt staying alone on the ship. Okay. Sounds like you guys got a pretty solid plan as the day progresses. Everyone roll a d20 for me.
Look at that. Look at those 9, 10, 1.
Natty one.
Fuck, it was my fault.
We don't know if it's supposed to be high or low.
That is true.
None of you have a clue.
Day.
Why is there...
I tried to put Trevor.
What in the fuck? Drop the effect on yourself in the combat tracker. See if that'll help. Yeah. I know we've been having token issues the last few weeks. It's the last major update. But as the day goes on, you guys think you have a pretty solid plan, so you go about your routineness. And, Odess, you're standing at the back of the ship, doing some prayers and communing as you do. And you notice a ship on the horizon.
So I'm like back here.
You're... Oh, sorry, I'll move tokens. Back here. Put everybody in your usual spots for this moment.
I would call out to the others and say,
Sorry, Jacob, that was the odd thing. That was fine.
Okay.
I would call out that there's a ship behind us.
Okay. You all hear Odess shout out, "Ship behind us."
I never paid Silk's family for the spyglass that I now have, so I'll run back there and take a look, take a gander. with my
Okay.
stolen spyglass.
Go ahead and make a perception check at advantage. Anybody else doing anything?
Was Odessa you have the other spyglass? Is that what you were?
No, I just
Oh,
saw
okay.
it.
I
Caddy does.
Yeah, Daddy has it. Because I've been, why am I back downstairs? I don't go downstairs anymore.
Oh, that's right. So you'd be up in the crow's nest.
Yep.
Or would have been.
Okay, so
Uppies. Gallon, you don't see anything.
I grab my spyglass and look.
Make a perception check at advantage. Silt, Pearl, doing anything? Just a regular perception check. Yeah, Taddy, you don't see anything. Silt, you don't see anything.
I think you've been out to sea too long there, Otis. Seen shit.
Odess, you're like,
I didn't tell him to say.
no, I swear. And as you look back to where the ship was, it's gone.
We better stop here anyway, just to see.
You're still 3 days away from the edge of the approximate location.
I would say, based on what I know about Otis and how I've been playing Otis, that if that ship was no longer there and he swears he could see that ship, he would probably start grumbling to himself.
Oh, you definitely know what you saw, but you know you're not seeing it anymore.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is like knowing Otis and not grumbling to himself, he would probably hear something under his breath along the lines of like, "I swear I fucking saw that."
Everybody be on high alert. There's
Other
weird
things.
shit out here.
Gal would continue to search the horizon.
Okay.
After
Go ahead.
mumble under his breath.
Go ahead and do another perception check at advantage.
Would it be appropriate for Otis to do a perception check? 'Cause I'm sure he's probably
Yeah.
looking around too.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So the two of you spend collectively the next 3 hours scanning the horizon, looking for any sign of a ship at all. Absolutely nothing. You are, as far as you can tell, alone on the ocean.
I just tap him on the back and say, I believe you. It's probably there. We'll just keep an eye on it over the next couple of days. And then kind of do a slight, as you're trident on your back. Above table.
He is holding the trident, and in fact, he's going to do something and just give his comment.
Yeah. I kind of like give a quick eye glance to the trident and then kind of like give a glance over to Silt. Casually. Casually. Not like pointedly, just casual.
Do I see her do that?
With your passive, you would notice it.
I'm just gonna look at her like, what?
And then I'm just gonna shrug my shoulders and just like keep going and do what I'm doing.
So to be clear, Otis thinks or knows he saw a ship to what, the west? I'm guessing.
It would have been, yeah, to the west. Yeah, so it would have been, back this direction on the world map. Left on the world map, because you guys are traveling to the right.
West. Cool. Got it. He's going to stay at the back of the ship and watch the sea and horizon as we move along. At some point, when things calm down a little bit, he's going to pull out some of the cloth strips that he has in his bag.
Okay.
And he's going to start wrapping those around the trident.
Like covering it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Becca, what's that damn show that you like so much?
Take your pick.
No, it's the one you and your sister watch, the Japanese one. The Anyways, he's covering it up with the strips of cloth.
Are you talking about freaking Rurouni Kenshin?
Yes. Yes. Do you remember the dude? He wrapped up his big ass sword in like all that cloth and shit.
Yes, yes I do.
Okay. I don't get the reference, but
you're,
okay.
Like you're hiding it. Like it's protecting it and hiding it.
You can tell it's a trident, but you can't see
What it is.
About it.
exactly.
Okay.
To a normal person, it's just a trident wrapped in cloth.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, if nobody has anything else they wanted to do, the evening approach. Go ahead.
I am going to use my new prestidigitation to clean all of my clothes.
Okay. The kind of crinkly feel from the salt water drying and the salt remaining in your clothes is gone with the snap of a finger.
But you don't notice it because you're in disguise.
No, but I can feel it, and I know that it's
Know
gone.
it.
You definitely feel much more comfortable.
Yeah, anybody around me can just hear me go.
Salt in the fur would not be nice.
No. All right. Anybody got anything else before the evening roll?
Still just learning undercommon.
Yep, I saw your roll earlier. All right. Well, with that, evening hits. Go ahead and do the evening navigation checks. Make sure you maintain course overnight. It's definitely a moment of Galen being on a high horse and being like, "No, I got this," and then Pearl like smacks your hand out of the way and be like, "No, like this."
I can imagine that's very true.
I'm being nice about it.
But we push into the night.
You're allowed to tease me. That's alright. I'm only half proficient after all.
That is true. That is true.
But we push into the evening. If nobody's got anything for the nighttime, you will all get a long rest and wake up the next morning without any incident. Go ahead with your morning rolls. Galen, you're good. You don't have to do the con save or the con check. I think from now on you don't have to do that roll unless I implicitly tell you you have to.
Alright.
So it's like
But
if something happens, then they'll flare up and I'll have you do a roll. But until something happens, you're good.
I've got that
So.
one. Here's insight or language learning.
Okay. And Pearl, another nav check, please. Silt, those aqua rolls. You're teetering on the edge there these mornings.
Yeah, but I'm climbing. I'm climbing up. Can I ask you, do you have, did my hit points go up? I'm just looking at that and I'm not sure if I paid attention.
Let me take a look. They might not have. Hold on. I'm like comparing them to other people's to kind of see. There you go. Alright, I updated the ship position for the day. And then, Silt, when you do your morning thing, if you just want to drop the temporary hit points on Galen, she's the only one who is missing any of the temps.
Yeah, that was for her bleeding.
Yeah. Oh, it's up now, so drop it on everybody.
We don't have any twigs on the ship, do we?
No. You could acquire some splinters. Yeah, because it's still, your thing is your level plus your charisma modifier, and you went up a level, so everybody gets 10 hit points. That maxes out at 15, just FYI. If I remember correctly, I might be mistaken on that, but okay. Whose turn is it to roll? Gallon. Straight D20.
Or I need to let me change my dice just to make sure. Start fresh today.
And everyone go ahead and move your tokens around to wherever you would be for routine daytime stuff.
I'm hanging out over
Oh, Lordy, have mercy.
Oh my god.
Time to get everything's fine.
The daily roll, the daily roll, there is no failing. It's just on a table. So.
No, but I've never trusted Natty ones. I don't have
The-
good luck with them, let's just say that.
The day and night progresses. The day and night progresses peacefully, and your journey is uneventful. This time.
So wait, can I ask, above table, did you say that we could, or I could take some splinters and make them into a fork twig? Is that what you were insinuating earlier?
I mean, you could definitely harvest some wood from the lumber supply you have and fashion it into a specific shape.
Okay. I'm asking because one of my spells requires a forked twig.
Yeah, you could definitely.
That's why I'm asking.
Well, see, now we get into the semantics of it as to whether or not lumber is considered a twig.
But that's why I'm referring to what the DM's decision is, because that will.
I will say it's okay.
Okay. Then I would definitely do that.
Is this for a spell?
It is.
Did you have this spell before we left Haven?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Then,
I had the
based on-
capability of knowing it, but I did not have it.
I would just say, based on last week's ruling, where I had the spell before I left Haven, that I would have bought the supplies for it.
So clerics are a little different because they know every cleric spell for every level, and they can swap out all of their spells every time they take a long rest. So he could wake up tomorrow and have completely different spells, whereas you're kind of stuck with what you pick until the next time you level up.
Keep my mouth shut.
So it's just a little different.
That's important.
Yeah.
I also learned something new myself too, because they have a bunch of new ritual spells.
Mm-hmm.
To know about.
Yep. Clerics.
Get their subclass specific spells prepared all the time, and then they have a set number of spells that they get generalized from the cleric list. And those are the ones that they can change out.
Clerics and druids work that exact same way. Wizards are similar, but they have to have the spell in their spell book. And then when they level up, they can add a new spell to their spell book, or they can copy like spell scrolls into their spell book. And then every time they take a long rest, they can prepare a different set of spells out of their spell book instead of off the class list. So, wizards are complicated.
Or you could do like my DM used to do. I was raised, my wizard was raised in a wizard's tower, and I was copying down the spells into the book, and then I got to take the book, so I had all the spells.
Depends if your DM's cool or not. I'd probably make a wizard work for it a little bit. So, all right. Well, if nobody's got anything today, nothing will happen. The journey is peaceful and uneventful. We can do the night navigation roll and then go ahead and do the next morning rolls. Oh, I gotta mark down the day you all just had. And this will be the new day. So Pearl and Gallon, 2 nav checks each. Bustin' with the 20s.
But then you need a second one from me.
Then that night, Pearl goes to do something, and Gallon, in true form, you kind of slap her hand away and go, "No, like this."
True sisterly fashion.
True sisterly fashion. And then go ahead and do all your morning rolls again.
I'll be right back.
Pearl, if you're talking, you're muted.
Oops. Yeah. No, nothing. I was just laughing along with Galen and kind of like, yeah, I'll get you tomorrow.
Alright.
So yeah, that's it.
Overnight, the wind kicks up. It's a nice tailwind, and it actually increases your guys' speed. And when you come to in the morning and check your location, you are presumably on the edge of where you need to be.
Well, guess it's just about game time, huh?
Let's drop anchor and
Go fishing.
Just want to make sure I have all my spells finished up.
Yeah, this is kind of a last call for alcohol. If anybody had any preparations they wanted to do, any... The hell?
Excuse me, I have to let the dog out.
You're good. Psychic Whispers. We'll just give Becca and Brad a moment. So, Silt, were you anchoring the ship here?
Yes.
Okay. So it is anchored. The sails are up. The anchor was able to find something to hold on to. So. Okay.
I would look at Self, let her know that, mind you, I'm going to be doing this, Psychic Whispers right before we leave. So,
Yeah. Last possible second. Yeah.
yeah.
Nope, I'm with you on that.
But when it happens, I'm going to let Self know that, I was able to muster up enough oomph to get everybody in the group, including Chess Rock. So, you know, if you're preoccupied and you need to shoot me or us a message, Chess Rock can do it too.
Pat Teddy on his little shoulder and say thanks to me.
Uh-huh.
Brad, Becca, if you're back, let me know.
Yeah, I'm back now. Just to contribute. Silk, do you need the anchor?
Probably wouldn't hurt to leave it here just in case. I'm not gonna plan on using it unless I need it. Just so that it looks like I'm a normal guy without fancy stuff.
I gotta find it and I'll give it to you. Do you actually want me to put, Jacob, do you actually want me to give it to her in the party sheet?
That is entirely up to you. As long as we know she's the one who has it, it's good.
Okay.
It doesn't work like that because it's that sheet is just a list. It's not an actual inventory.
So I'm gonna take it off of my carried, and what I'll do is
Just take leave the marker empty, but leave it on your sheet.
yeah, I'm going to. I'm just gonna put it in there. So.
There you go. Brad, are you looking at the world map by chance?
I will be in just a second.
Let me know when you are. I'm gonna drop a ping, and
Okay.
that is your thing.
Is it my
Every, yep. Every day at dawn.
okay. Club table. That's what I thought.
Well, we're still kind of in a waiting period here for a minute, Mr. DM.
Mm-hmm.
The second line of my psionic talent for the psychic whispers says, as an action, you hear yourself and at least one other creature in the building speak telepathically with each other. Wouldn't that line insinuate that anybody who has the ability should be able to talk to each other? Not use me as a go-to?
It's so much more funny when they have to relay through you, though.
Okay, you're the DM. That's fine, but
Hold on a second.
I mean, further down the line, it also has a line that says something about,
They can speak with you, and you can speak with them.
yeah, but it's that one line, that second line, that gets my attention. That's like, with each other.
Yeah, no, okay, so anybody influenced by it can communicate with each other.
Okay. As funny as it is, because I ain't gonna lie, I think it's funnier fuck too, especially when I gotta use my own words that somebody's given me. It might make things go a little bit smoother if everybody could just talk to each other.
Did you bring enough for everybody, Katie?
Yeah.
I don't like the ones with nuts, Brad, but thank you. All right. It looks like everybody is back, so we are good to go. Anybody got any last-minute preparations they want to do before you split the party?
Yeah. I would discuss with the group that's going down on hand signals in case they need them.
That's not fair. I see what Katie's got. And how'd you get one to Brad? 'Cause I saw that in your hand, Brad. Yeah, see? She gave one to Brad. How the hell did you do that?
Magic.
It's because we have god powers.
Arcane Gate.
See, the fun thing is what you guys don't actually know is we're all actually roommates and we just have
Is that why your walls are painted the same color?
what walls?
And her camera's off, but I bet Becca's got one too. Doesn't she?
Probably.
I do not.
No.
I do not. Didn't feel like it.
Is that why Becca keeps her camera off? Because Katie doesn't like the back of her head being seen?
Should I
So
roll?
respect for the yeah. I respect for Katie.
Should
That's
I
why
roll
Katie
the
had to
in?
move her camera.
Should I roll the insight to see if she finds me?
All right. So Odess brings up the topic of hand signals just in case.
Yeah, sure. Go lead the way.
Be just real basic hand signals. Go, stop. I see something. That kind of thing. Come
Oh no,
back here.
you need to actually establish it so that on camera you guys have to give the correct signal in game.
Y'all are gonna be blind if I give you any signal.
No, I won't make you do that.
I ain't gonna lie. I spent some time doing construction for crane operators and things. I know basic hand signals.
It's different when you're diving though, because a thumbs up when you're diving means I need to surface, and the thumb and pointer finger circle is I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm holding it up to the camera like you can see me, but only the stream can. So, right. Anything else before you guys set off?
I'm gonna have a rousing. Good luck.
Guys, speech.
Okay. Well, with that, you guys set off. Gallon, you pull out your little folding boats. Do you give the small command word or the big command word?
I mean, they're small.
Okay. So basically,
There's only 4 of us.
yeah, it's basically a canoe that it unfolds to, but it does have a mast. It comes with an anchor and sails, or oars rather, as well. You guys start setting off. Is the sail up? Like, are you using the sail, or are you guys just rowing?
I think we're sailing for a little bit.
If
What
we're
do you guys think?
if we're trying to keep ourselves from being visible to other ships, I would suggest oars.
Alright,
But-
ours it is.
But we would move faster with sails, so those are the options. More visible, faster, less visible oars. You guys do it. Well, your choice, because it's your boat, I guess.
You're the captain now.
Of this tiny little dinghy. It's also very on point for Gal. Let's just pour it. Discreet's been this whole topic this whole time, so let's just
Okay.
stick with the plan.
So you guys.
Upon seeing a mast with the sails, why didn't we pull this out when we needed sails for the big boat?
I was thinking the same thing a minute ago.
We'll deal with it when we get back.
Well, now you guys got extras.
That's
Friday-
exactly.
Friday's campaign has like 3 extras because Mike's got PTSD. So- from Sunday. So you guys get in the folding boat, the 4 of you, and you start paddling your way. Takes a little while, but not too horribly long before the rock in a hard place is small and on the distance. Is there anything you guys are doing while you are paddling east?
Gauging the distance between where we are and the boat, so we know where we're diving at.
Okay, make an insight check. Knowing that you can see a ship up to 12 miles away, you know that the ship is at least within 12 miles.
Okay. How far out do you want to go? I'm gauging distance, but I don't remember how far away we're supposed to go.
You have both navigators with you.
Oh, man, that's why I'm asking. Somebody
I was looking at spells.
Sorry, I was like muted. My bad. I think a day's worth is what we were saying.
Well, day's worth is 120 miles. There ain't really
That's on the main ship.
So we like double that, triple that, right?
You'd be paddling for like a week
That's
just to get there.
You get back and there's no room on the boat. It's just filled with fucking fish.
and a
Sorry,
dog.
but that's just unrealistic. So I wouldn't be able to do it.
And there'd be a dog. Like, where the hell's you at? Oh, I got in the middle of the water. So be like, I don't know. Just showed up one day. Smell all the fish.
So just paddle right out.
Yep.
So how far are you guys going?
I can't remember what the conversation was. I feel like that was like, I know it wasn't, but I feel like it was days ago.
Up on the table, DM. Can you please tell what we talked about?
No, it's your plan. You remember it. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
I thought it was like 12 miles because that's how far you could see a ship.
I don't think you ever determined exactly how far you were going to go. I think you just established that you can see a ship up to 12 miles away, and that's where the conversation stopped.
That's
No.
all right.
So we
Paddle
determined
until you see a ship.
we determined that we were going to stop the ship far enough away where it couldn't be seen, and then we would use the little boat the rest of the way where we were going.
Okay.
But I don't remember the part of the conversation, which was
Where we
how far away that was.
So if I wasn't clear before, I apologize, but I will clarify that the X represents the area, the approximate area of where you need to dive. There should be a city down there somewhere, but you don't know the exact spot you need to dive at.
So we just need to pick a spot and dive.
5. Right.
Essentially.
Alright.
Here,
So
but
stay within eyesight of the ship and dive. Then
we're barely within eyesight of the ship now. So
Let's dive.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Decisions are made. Let's go.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
Gail's just gonna like dive overboard.
So you all jump in the water and get ready to do your dive.
Sorry, did this boat have an anchor?
It does.
It does have an anchor?
We're not going to do that. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to, after everybody dives on the boat, what's a trick to posing the boat, Gallon?
Giving a command.
Okay. Then give it. I'm gonna like try and like put myself right underneath the boat. Go ahead, give it the command.
I just say, close, right?
Yeah, that's
And
Okay.
finito, fin.
Okay. Once it folds back up, I'm gonna try and catch it and then give it back to Gallon.
okay. You
That
catch
way
it and give
nobody
it back
can
to
see
Galen.
where we're at.
That's smart thinking.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know why, but they have this sudden urge to call you Tatty McGee. And I don't know why.
Okay.
Probably 'cause I don't know your last name. So for right now, it's Tatty McGee.
Patty doesn't have a last name.
it's tatty.
It's McGee.
So the boat folds and you get it back, Galen.
Alright, so we're all in the water. Let's go diving.
Anybody got anything they need to do to prepare for the dive?
Yeah, stay as close to Gallon as I can. I know she swims faster than I do, but I
I
can't see
think that's
down there.
part of the natural explorer ability that I put up earlier.
So difficult terrain won't slow your travel. Can't become lost by magical means. You can move stealthily at a normal pace. Okay. So it doesn't increase speed at all. You just can't.
What my speed is.
You can't be. Nobody in the group can be slowed, essentially. So if you're staying together, you can move as fast as your slowest person, which is either Taddy or Pearl, and 30 feet. No, Pearl is 35, so Taddy is 30.
Yeah.
Unless you want a bonus action dash all the way down, and then you guys can go 35.
No, I kind of want to be aware of what I'm seeing first before I decide to dive down. Let's not have another incident like the last time where we were just like traveling for like diving for miles.
Okay.
Almost a mile. So what am I seeing?
Did you guys start diving?
Before we do,
Yeah.
I'm activating my fragment.
Okay. Because it's the first time, you know that lasts for a minute, correct? You can activate it a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier per long rest, but it only lasts for a minute each time you activate it.
Did not see that anywhere on the.
As an action, you can call upon the power, yada yada yada. For the next minute, you gain the following benefits.
Oh, the next one. Got it.
Let's do this. If they are faster than I am, they can move at 35. Just let them move at their base speed of 35, and as I start trailing, I'll just use my dash to speed up a little bit.
Or you can just hang on to somebody.
Callan, you can only move 30. Or am I missing something?
No, I can only move for 30.
Okay, so 30 is the speed.
Wait, how many times can I activate that? It's wisdom modifier?
Per long rest, yeah. So 3 times per long rest. I already got it set up underneath your channel divinities to keep track of your uses. So I was lacking on the coding this week. Okay, so you guys start diving at a rate of 30 feet per 6 seconds, which comes out to 300 feet a minute. Everyone make perception checks for me. Trip 18s, not bad, not bad. Okay, so you begin diving. You see the normal stuff. You know, there's some jellyfish a little ways off, couple schools of fish swimming around. It's really all you notice for that first 300 feet. It looks like an ocean. As you decide to continue deeper, you will note that the light is starting to fade as you keep going down. You can still see, but it is starting to fade as you get deeper and deeper into the ocean. Does anybody want to do anything before you proceed? Okay, go ahead and roll another round of perception checks.
How deep are we?
You are right at the 300-foot mark right now.
23 net point.
There you go.
I'm looking today.
Dirty 20, there you go. All right, so you guys continue deeper. It's getting darker as you're going, but you can still see. Almost simultaneously, 2 things happen. You guys are about 550, coming up on 600 feet at this point, and Gallon leading the way because this is your bread and butter. You see up ahead the ocean floor. It's maybe another 50 or 60 feet down. It is dim lighting, so you can't see very much of it, but you can tell that it is there. And even with your dark vision. And Taddy, you take a second to check over your shoulder, make sure you're not being chased by a shark or something, and you see a ship sailing across the water.
Like the top of the water?
On the top of the water.
Oh, I thought we were allowed to see like a submarine or something. I was like, wait, are we joking?
I'm just gonna shrug it off. Like
Okay.
shake my head like, what? Who am I next to Gallon?
The four of you are within, 15, 20 feet of each other.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the closest person to me, like grab their arm, leg, whatever, and then point up, and kind of do it like this with my other fingers, pointing at the ship.
Okay. I would say it's either Odess or Pearl, so whichever one you choose to grab.
Looks like it's Pearl.
He tells you to look up. You had rolled a 15, so you would see the ship.
Okay. I see it. I see a ship.
Okay, so knowing that I'm not seeing things,
You're not.
I would use the telepathy bit and relay to everybody. I'm seeing a ship floating above us.
Uh,
I see it too.
the last two of you can stop and look up, and you would see the ship.
How big is it?
About the size of the Rock in a Hard Place. Not a huge ship, but not a small one either.
Do we know what direction? Do we think it's going in the direction that Salt is?
You can make a nature check at advantage, since this is your favorite terrain, to try and determine which way north is right now. Because anybody who's tried to check direction underwater knows it's fucking rough.
Except I also have the Wanderer bit.
Oh, is that where you remember all the maps?
Except you've never been here before.
But if
You-
I already knew where she was.
The ocean changes though, and you're now underwater in a new environment you've never been. This is more for like the layouts, something fixed items you can recall. Oceans move and change, so it's a little different. But with a dirty 20 on your nature check, you would know that the ship is sailing south.
Oh wait. Oh, is it going to? Oh no, it's going away from her.
Like parallel to her. So if you look at the world map, you guys are just east of Silt right now, and the ship is sailing in like this direction. From up here. Perpendicular, yep.
Okay, I will relay that to the team.
Looks like you're the thing. I still gave you
We did.
Yep.
Silk with the spy class, right?
I assumed as much, that's why she rolled at advantage.
Okay.
So it's easier for me to send Silt messages in terms of what's going on to keep some mystery between the two groups. So that's how we're gonna play this. Okay. So you guys continue your dive, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. You get down, you're about 15, 20 feet off the ocean floor. Now you can see out to the length of your dark vision in every direction. Assuming you have dark vision. If you do not, it's dark, so you can't see anything. Go ahead and make another
Got anything
perception
glowing?
check.
We're on the floor, right?
You're about 15 feet above the ocean floor. Pearl, it has been 2 days. You would have attuned to that trident by this point. Should you?
Okay.
I am going to ask. Good. Anybody have anything glowy? Oh, I can see.
I do not.
Obviously, torches is not going to work here.
What are you looking for?
A light source. Anybody have a light source?
I have my trident, but will it work for you?
It works for everybody.
It works for whoever's attuned to it, and then produces light radiating outwards for 60 feet.
Think of it like a flashlight.
Essentially.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I can use my trident.
No, you would have to use it because you're attuned to it, Pam, but you would just activate it so that the light turns on.
I'm activated.
You say, I'm going to turn the light on, and then I say, okay, the area is lit up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's it.
Yell ooga booga.
Something special with it.
No,
Asking what was the difference?
so
Pearl, I got you. I'm with you.
So if you pull up the information sheet on the item, the first paragraph says, as a bonus action, you can make it shed bright light for 30 feet and dim light for an additional 30, and you can extinguish it as a bonus action. You're not in combat, so there's no bonus action. You just say, I'm doing it. And then the second paragraph is a reaction that you can do in combat up to 4 times per day.
And then she gave her the trident without explaining it, man.
So, okay. Pearl.
I can help her if she needs it.
Per- Pearl, you turn on the light. There's now 30 feet of bright light and 30 feet of dim light. As you guys look around the ocean floor, you can see normal aquatic animals, fish, octopi. There's a coral reef not too far off. No seahorses. No seahorses.
Pretty pretty. That could be our pet.
Love it.
What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna through my shit, see what I can find.
Once we make it to the bottom and we have light, I'm going to suggest we had a generalization of the area. I say we head towards the center of it. See what we can see from there. Because at this point, I'm assuming we're a little to the west of the center.
You're a ways to the west of the center. It would take you probably 2 or 3 days of swimming to get to the center of it. But heading that direction might not be a bad idea. I see where you're at with it.
Can I ask one of my friends of the sea if they can lead us to the ruins?
Yeah. Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me. See
Oh, I do have that.
if you can approach a creature without scaring it off.
Go eat,
Did
go.
you want us to drown?
I can give her guidance if she wants it.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna accept guidance. You see that gif I sent over the weekend? Golfing moth?
D4 if the DM will allow it.
Yeah, go for it. You gonna roll it, Brad?
No, she
No, you roll it.
Oh,
10.
I've never
Perfect.
rolled guidance.
But you know what? A 10 is exactly what you needed to cautiously approach a fish. And what are you relaying to it?
We are looking for ruins, abandoned buildings, things that are not things that it wouldn't recognize. Like it just. That's a good question. Yeah, I want to say we're looking for ruins. Can you lead us?
It does the fish in a fish tank thing and just kind of sits there, opening and closing its mouth, staring at you.
Of course it does. All right, let's just get. As we're doing this, we're gonna keep walking towards the center. I'm just gonna like continuously ask fishy friends. Something will hit eventually.
Okay. So you're going to travel for a while and then try again.
Just keep traveling towards the center. See if we're and still looking out and see if we can find anything.
Okay. You notice as you're traveling that it's hard to see past the 60 feet of light. You know, it's like when you're in a lit up house and you try to look out the window when it's dark outside type scenario. So your vision's very much restricted to the 60 feet that you're in. But you continue onward for a while. More ocean, more reefs. You decide to stop and try to ask for directions again. Go ahead and make another animal handling check.
While she's doing
It
that,
goes into the box.
while she's doing this, can I cast a spell?
Oh, that's not fair.
And guidance wouldn't help you there. You're not able to approach any animals. Go ahead. As she's doing that, Brad, what did you want to do?
I'm gonna cast locate object. What you guys would see would be Otis would reach into his pocket and pull out the little twigs in like a little, the little splinters that are in the shape of a forked twig. And he would do his thing to utter the spell. Basically, he would utter the name of the machine and describe the machine that was given to him by Gistra, and the spell would allow me to sense the direction of the object location as long as that object is within 1,000 feet of me. And that if it's in a motion, I would know its direction of motion. Spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you have seen it up close within 30 feet at least once. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of... That makes no sense. That completely negates the beginning of the spell, but okay. The spell can't locate an object any thickness of lead, even the thinnest sheet blocks a direct path between you and the object.
Okay. So you cast the spell, and you get nothing back.
Well, I got nothing, guys.
Okay, yeah, I guess we'll just keep searching and looking.
Okay.
Start looking around.
So you continue moving eastward. Yeah, everybody go ahead and make perception checks for me. All right. You continue onwards for, we'll say, another hour or so, heading eastward towards the center. Continuing on. At the end of that hour, just when you're stopping to try and ask for directions again, Pearl, You are going to notice something, and I will whisper to you. Do whatever you want with that. Gallon, go ahead and make another animal handling check.
Guys, it's been a while since I've been in the ocean like this.
Yeah, even with a max guidance, you run into the same story. Well, you figure you're gonna switch it up this time, though. You go up to an octopus, and as you do, he lets out an ink jet and disappears.
They're awesome.
Some friend of the sea, right?
No, I genuinely love cephalopods. I think they're
I
really
know,
cool.
I
I'm
know.
not even angry.
What are you guys doing?
Guess keep wandering around the bottom of the ocean until we find these rooms.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
I don't really know.
if there's another option.
Yeah, I mean, without her giving us clear directions as to where this is at, us having no idea where this is at. I mean, keep
Okay.
wandering around, try to check back on Silt, I suppose, at some point.
Guys, I don't really know if it's just me looking at things, but do you see, like, can anybody see that way? And I'm pointing, like, 70 feet south of me.
That was very specific.
I can't see it because it could be just a rock, or it could be something, I don't know, it could be a cliff,
mean-
it could be a reef, it could be anything.
I can't see 70 feet that way, but I can see 60 feet, so therefore I would move 10 feet to the south and see if I see anything.
Yeah.
You,
Doing that trident light thing where we're not seeing anything past 60 feet.
yeah.
It's even with dark vision.
Yep.
With dark vision. Pearl, can you turn off your? Oh, make sure Taddy comes close. Taddy, come here. I like make sure he comes over. Pearl, can you turn off your light so I can try and see? I can see 90 feet.
Like a kid at the mall. Hold my hand and don't let go, Taddy.
No, for sure though. He's like tiny, and I don't want him to caught up in a riptide.
Yeah.
Is the light off?
Yeah, I can turn them.
Okay. DM, what did I see?
How far is your dark vision?
90 feet.
90 feet. You will see a rock outcropping that looks a little different than the other ones you've seen. It almost looks like how a volcano looks topographically, if that makes sense. But it's not obviously not the size. But instead of just being a boulder laying on the ground with things growing on it, it's up into a peak.
Would I recognize this as anything else that I've seen on the ocean floor? Any other like natural? I don't know. There are underwater volcanoes, so I just want to make sure I'm not gonna like walk up and it's gonna erupt on me.
I mean, you would know that they exist. There's no sign of activity on this one.
Then I relay that information to the group. And say I think we should. I mean, it's our best bet for right now. Might as well go check it out.
Game plan to me.
We ain't got nothing else, anything better to do.
And then I'm gonna start ahead and say, "Hey, Pearl, you can turn on your light again." And Teddy, yeah, go ahead and turn it on, and then Taddy can stay close to you so that way he can see.
Okay. So you guys swim the 70 feet over to this quote unquote underwater volcano and get to it. And you swim up to the top of it. It's maybe 20-30 feet off the rising off the bottom of the ocean. And the top of it is enclosed, so it's clearly not a volcano. There's no opening into the earth. But as you swim around the back of it, and this thing's a good 30-40 feet in diameter, so you swim around it to the backside, and you see an opening. Large enough for 2 medium-sized creatures to move side by side through it, and it goes in and then down like a tunnel that you cannot see the end of.
The closest thing to a building we've come across when we got down there.
Yeah.
Might be worth checking out.
Does anyone need to do anything for underwater breathing before we proceed?
As far as I know, my armor's got me covered.
Yeah, there's no time limit on that armor, so you're good.
So pros. Yeah, we might as well. I say we do it. The question is, do we send down the person with the light first, or the person with dark vision?
Yeah.
So without the light, the dark vision works. It's if the light's on, we can't use the dark vision. Is my understanding.
So you can use your dark vision, but it's like the reference I gave earlier. It's just dark enough at the bottom of the ocean you can't see past the light. It's like looking out a window
But if we
inside
shut the light
from a
off,
house.
they
Then you can use your dark vision. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what
So I can go second or last. Johnny, you can go or
No, it ruins the view for 60 feet.
oh, let's figure out what
It's okay. It's okay.
Here's what we're gonna do. Daddy's gonna walk up and grab Pearl's hand.
okay.
Get my better judgment and tell you to shut the light off so they can see and just don't let go.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right.
And then I'm gonna relay what we're doing to Syl. We're still in range.
I don't think you can reach Silt right now. What's the range on your whisper? Yeah, no. You don't get anything back, Silt, you don't hear anything.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, that I know. Okay.
She knows what we're doing. Let's go get this done.
Yeah, well, that was the intended game plan. Relay so I already know what was going on.
I'm sure she's fine. This alone time is probably good for Syl, helping her to process everything that happened with her family.
Probably not. So goes crazy on
Not that we help her, but we are there.
I mean, if she catches enough fish that pop around on the boat and she gets her whole, an episode, the fish will keep her busy.
Don't worry about it. You got your own shit to worry about.
I'll look at Odess and be like, you want to lead the way? You want me to? Alright, cool. Alright, and yeah. Make sure I stay within 60 feet of all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm gonna just kind of casually peek my head in. You said you can't see the end of it. Do I see anything?
So you see a tunnel. It goes downward at about a 20-degree slope or so. How far can you see?
90 feet.
90 feet. So yeah, you can't see when it stops going down that slope.
Alright, I'll relay the information to them and then I'm gonna go down. Oh my gosh, stop with these dark dice.
You just ignore the dark dice, okay? Just ignore them.
I know hard when they go shooting across my screen.
If the dark dice are going and you can see Silt's whisper icon, you don't have anything to worry about that you know of.
Alright, so I'm gonna start moving through the tunnel.
Okay.
Keeping,
You get about 10 feet into the tunnel, and now you can see about 90 feet in front of you, the tunnel levels off and continues.
I relay that information to the group. So everyone knows. There's no surprises. Oh! No, you go.
I will ritual cast.
Detect magic. This will last me for 10 minutes.
Okay. Only the items your companions are carrying show up at this point. So you guys are continuing through the tunnel?
Yeah, but I'm gonna use the Wand of Secrets.
Ooh. Okay. So you pull it out and activate it. Make sure you mark off a use on your action tab. And
Sorry, it's not in my action tab. It's what is it? Maybe it is.
yeah, it is. It's at the very top underneath your spell slots there. Under items.
It is.
Cuz I put it there for you.
I did. Thank you.
So you pull it out and do the swish and flick. And a little spark shoots off the end of it, and nothing happens.
And then I'll just keep moving forward.
Okay. You continue down into the tunnel. When you hit the bottom of that initial 100 feet to where it levels off and continues, you start to see, even with all the growth, that this tunnel was man-made, for lack of a better term, because there's not just men in the world, but it was definitely carved. The ground indicates that it was flat, and the walls and ceiling are like an archway. And of course, there's years and years and years of aquatic growth on it, but you can definitely tell that the structure is not naturally formed.
As in, we all notice that, or just I?
Anybody with dark vision will notice that.
Okay, then I still relay that to Taddy. I understand what we're saying.
Okay. Wait 2 seconds. Go ahead and make perception checks for me, everybody in the tunnel. At disadvantage, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, perception's not just sight. It's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that. That's what I was gonna say. Shit.
Okay. The farther you move along the tunnel, the more you start to see. You start to see little cuts in the wall, holders that probably held something like torches at one point. Just more and more symbols of this being a man-made structure. Does anybody want to do anything other than continue onward?
If my detect magic has worn off, I will ritual cast it again.
Okay. Same thing. Nothing else is popping up to you other than what your companions have.
Moving forward, we're going to keep trudging along with this stuff.
Give me.
I'm not gonna use that wand again until we get to like a very different locale, like an interesting environment. Like it opens up into an opening or something.
Okay. So you all continue onward for some time, swimming through. By your best guess, you probably swim for about 2 hours. And eventually, who's leading the way, Galen?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So eventually, you stop, Galen, and about 90 feet in front of you, you see two heavy wooden doors blocking the tunnel.
I relay that information to the group and I cast my wand of secrets.
You set your wand off, and it sparks and does nothing again.
Above table, that thing doesn't blow up if it's closed.
No, the wand regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn.
I just want to make sure, because I know.
What I really should have asked was, am I within 30 feet of the door? That was a mistake.
Even within 30 feet of the door, it wouldn't have gone off.
If there's a door, if there's a door, I'm gonna have to turn the light on and see. I can see more of the door. Figure out.
Is there anything magical coming from the door?
Nope.
And you said there was 2 doors.
Yeah, it's like a
Or like 2
it's
doors
like
going in different directions.
like a double door.
Okay.
So it's one hallway. Yeah. There you go. Like barn doors.
Barn doors.
More like castle doors, but yeah.
Yeah, so, Pearl, do you want to turn on the light?
Let Patty do his thing.
Yep. Doors are my thing. Let me at it.
Okay. So the light turns on. Go ahead and make an investigation check, Taddy, as you take a closer look at this door. Even with an 8, you will be able to determine that the door does not have a lock on it.
Okay. Is there any cracks around the edges in between the doors? Like something I can like.
If there ever were, the amount of silt sediment and aquatic growth has filled them in. Think like big medieval castle. Yeah, no, I got you.
You know, the deterioration. You know, I get the whole sediment and hole thing, but
Mm-hmm.
if I can find the hole, maybe I can poke the dirt out and see what's on the other side.
You poke at a couple spots, but you're not able to see the other side.
Okay, are there like handles to pull on?
Each door has a big, like, cast iron ring handle on it.
Okay, I ain't got shit for strength, but I'm gonna try and open. See if I can pull on one and open.
Okay. You put your feet up on one door and grab the ring of the other and try to pull and open it, and it does not open.
Hey guys, I'm not seeing any traps. I'm not seeing any locks.
I would have also relayed that the Wand of Secrets didn't pick up a secret door or trap within 30 feet of us.
I'm gonna wager that it's probably hard from the other side. Knowing the layout of other doors I've seen like this, when they can't be opened and there's no lock, there's usually a big piece of lumber on the other side holding it shut.
We haven't tried to open it yet.
That's what I just did.
Oh, I meant hard.
Yeah, I put my feet up on one door and yanked on the ring that was on the other door.
You try pushing?
Nope.
Fuck, okay, try pushing.
It doesn't open.
There you go.
Hey, look, we've all had that moment where it's a push, not a pull.
100%.
The ring, I hear you, but the rings on the outside kind of tell me it's a pull.
Alright.
So, I mean,
Maybe you can try anything, Taddy, or
actually, I do. I have an idea. Hold on. I got a couple different ideas now. Okay. Where are you at? I need a hole. I need a hole in this door.
depending on how you want to hold it.
I just need a hole in the door. Can we attempt to put a hole in the door there, Mr. DM? Or
Who wants to do it and how?
maybe where the doors meet? Maybe where the doors meet, since there's technically a hole there already. We just need it wide enough to where I can see through it.
We tried knocking first.
We'd see but not see, right? Because,
Well, with the light shining, I'm assuming the light will shine through the hole.
that's true, that's true. You're right, you're right.
We could try knocking first, yeah.
I mean, before we start blowing holes and stuff.
Try knocking on the door there, Mr. DM, while we're preparing to put a hole in it.
Okay. So you knock on the door. You hear the echo down the hallway of the pounding. You wait a moment. No noise, no response.
There you go, Otis. Got anything else you want to try before we put a hole in it?
Nope, that's all I got. At least this
Okay.
way, if somebody yells at us or we all pissed off with us blowing a hole in the door.
Okay.
the answer's
Pearl.
on the floor.
Pearl, you got a very big weapon, right? You can make a pretty good sized hole. Can you try putting a hole in between the doors?
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check. Pearl. So you take your radiant trident and try to poke it in between the doors and just kind of jab it in there and clear it out and break loose. And after a minute or so of trying, you look, and it looks like you packed the sediment in.
Give it one more good bump. You can do it. We got faith in you, Pearl.
Yeah, I was like, no, Pearl.
Go, Pearl!
And I'm doing like the little with my little trident. Jeez, be good.
That's what I'm talking
Okay.
about.
Your trident passes through the doors, and you pull it back out. And you, what do you do now that you've penetrated the door? So this is just a small hole. Like you can't pass through it. Okay, so you're gonna try and.
I'm gonna get her attention. Pearl. I don't. Hold on. We just needed a hole so I can see through it. Just hold on. I don't want to see you break your trident. Okay. So I can I
So when you put your head up to the hole, the light is blocked by your head, and you are unable to see through it.
Okay, I'm sure we can like maneuver around where I can see something. Like put the trident next to my face, next to the hole, in between me and the hole. Something.
It's very difficult on this narrow hole to get light to shine through the hole with your face being there.
Okay. But there's obviously space on the other side of the door.
Yeah. No, her trident went through the door.
Okay. Okay. So I want to try my Misty Step.
Okay. Give me a second to pull that up just to make sure. So it does say you need to be able to see the unoccupied space you're stepping to. So until you have created an environment that you can see the other side of the door with an unoccupied space, I'm going to say you can't do it.
This is what the hole was for, the maneuvering. I mean, I could take a dagger and I can.
I'm just-
a little bit more of this hole.
I'm just making it difficult for you to see through the door. You just got to figure it out.
Then I'm gonna use my dagger to scrape a little bit more of the hole out.
Just keep chiseling away.
Yeah.
All right, roll a dexterity check. Okay. You make the hole just wide enough that some light passes through, and you're just able to make out a spot big enough for you to Misty step through.
Gonna Misty Step through it.
Okay. You do so. You find yourself on the other side of the door. Immediately you look back. You can see that the door, like typical castle style, just has a big wooden block locking the door from the side you're on. And then you look around to check your surroundings again. You find yourself in a cellar type room, for lack of a better word. You can tell that the walls are brick laid. There are some tables.
Too much of anything, bro. I am gonna lie.
There is the light coming through from the trident, so there is a little bit of ambient light. You can see some old deteriorated tables and bookshelves, some crates. Not much else.
I'm gonna make my way back to the door. It says up to 30 feet, and I was trying to get on the other side of the door, whether it be 20 feet, 15 feet.
Yeah, like right next to the door, essentially.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I'm gonna try and get that bar off.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check.
Daddy, 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 daddy.
Shit! I'm throwing a clutch hit.
So you start at the middle of the bar, and you go to try and lift it and realize that your toes just barely scrape the ground as you're trying to do it. And you're like, well, this isn't gonna work. So you go over to one edge and you like dig your ankle into one of the bricks, in between two of the bricks, making the archway for the door, to find yourself a little leverage. And with that, you're able to shoulder into the bar from one side, get it lifted off.
Aren't things a little lighter underwater? Isn't that a conversation we had last week?
They are slightly lighter, but it does not change the weight of the item.
I'm trying. Goddamn, I'm trying. Alright.
I love how you start that argument after I say you get the bar lifted. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Okay. Bar's off. I'm opening the door. Pushing the door.
It doesn't budge.
Okay, try pulling on the door.
The door's open. You said you said it a second time, specifying that you were pushing it.
Yeah,
So.
but I still assumed that it was with the rings on the outside.
Are there rings on the inside of the door too?
There sure are.
A double ring the door.
Fucking confused.
That's why they put the ring on both sides, to confuse people.
All right, guys, we're in.
So you all enter this chamber. It is a room, maybe 20 feet wide, 30 feet long. You all see the same thing I already described to Tabby. It is clearly a man-made room. The walls made of brick. There's a lot of sediment on the floor. There's not as much aquatic growth in this room, but there is still some. Some seaweed and mossy plant life and such. You see a fish dart up a stairwell at the far end of the room.
I'm going to harvest anything I can.
Okay. Let me make a note of that.
Yeah, you can give that to me later. Just put it in my inventory, but I'm going to harvest and forage as we go.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be looking for your girlfriend.
Yeah, if I see Gal doing that, I will either help her or at least let her know.
Okay. Gotcha.
You guys are all thinking really fancy. I was just thinking for myself. My little order.
I'm investigating to see if there's any shinies. Like,
Okay, well, how about you let me finish my description of the room, and then you can tell me what you're going to do. So you look a little closer now that there's better light, and bookshelves, tables, crates, some barrels, all of it has clearly been here for a long, long time. The bookshelves clearly had books on them at one point. Some of the books are still there. When you go to touch one of them, it crumbles to dust. And you can see by the amount of dust on the shelves that maybe they got hit by a tide or a fish or something, but clearly they've deteriorated and crumbled. Looking around the room, in the crates, on the tables, even in the sediment in the floor, you don't find anything.
is there doors leading out of this room?
There is one stairwell at the far end of the room.
Okay, I'm gonna relay. I see stairwell. Say we go check it out.
Okay. So you all go to the stairwell. It is a spiral staircase heading upwards. As you arrive a flight higher, well, probably closer to 2 or 3 flights higher, but on the one travel, there's no other levels before this one. You come out in, it's kind of like a small cupboard, and what was once shelves and crates that were in here are much more deteriorated. There's a door that is half dust, for lack of a better word. Like, there's half a door to this little cupboard, and you can see out of it a small, narrow hallway with doors on the right-hand side. You can't see the left wall because of the angle.
Not a whole lot going on.
If you take a look around, go ahead and give me a roll. No, you don't find anything in this room.
Alright. Well, we all saw the other doorway, so I say we keep moving.
Keep moving.
Okay. As you exit the cupboard and start making your way down the hallway, you can tell on the long hallway there are 5 doors on your right-hand side and 2 on your left. One of them is across from the closest door on the right, and the second one is across from the 5th door at the end. Does that make
The
sense?
door and open it.
I was gonna say, does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So you're on the ship map. The map you guys are on. So there's a door here, 3, 4, and then a door here and a door here, and then this is a hallway.
That last one of secrets.
Nah, save it. We can check doors.
But unless the doors are trapped. Or there's a secret door.
Well, I mean, if we run out of options, we could say we use it, but right now, we have options. So I say, everybody pick a door, and we'll open them together and see what's within them until we figure out what we're looking for here.
Okay. So who's opening which door?
I was trying to move there a minute ago.
Yeah, we're getting error codes on tokens for some reason. Are you doing the left one or the right one there, Gallon?
I'm thinking doing the left.
Oh shit, you got a map?
I just,
Right next
I-
to the
Rocket
thing.
on Barclays map.
yeah, just off to the right of the ship.
Guess I'll just pick a door that nobody's at.
So pick one.
One to your left, one to your right, one right above that one, and then one up there by Gal.
First one on the right, Odess. Okay. So you all kind of get in front of your doors and look at each other and psychically count to 3 and then open your doors. Everyone make a perception check for me.
How many times do I have to change these fucking dice?
Hey DM,
Yeah.
this particular role gives me a something I've been meaning to talk to you about real quick.
What's up?
My psychic talents. I have a Cybolser knack. When your non-psychic training fails you, you tap into your psionic powers to help. Fail an ability check. Check using skills. If you have proficiency, you can roll your psionic dice to add the number to the check.
Okay.
Would that apply to this? Something like this?
Are you proficient with perception?
Yes.
It wouldn't count for this because this isn't a pass-fail scenario. This is just a what you see scenario.
Okay.
But definitely keep that in mind because that's a good trick.
Yeah, I know. And I've had it this whole fucking time, man. I was like trying
Yeah.
to find a time in which I could use it. And with a low roll on perception, I thought maybe this would be a good time to have.
So Pearl and Taddy, when you guys open your door, oh, Odess too, super low DC. When you guys open your door, you see the remnants of what once was a bed and a small nightstand, and on the far wall, opposite the way you're looking, so on the back wall, is a slit. So not like a full-blown window, but just like a slit, maybe 6 inches wide, a foot tall, and there is some ambient light coming through the slits. Gallon, when you open your door, it opens to a large chamber. You can see a row of pillars about 10 feet in front of you, piles of busted wood and cloth in the center of the room, and then on the far side of the room, matching pillars to the side that you're on. That far row of pillars is maybe 40 or 50 feet away from you. And to the left, you would identify what is an altar Although, make a religion check for me.
Yeah, ask the person who's a dumb farmer on the bottom of the sea.
You do not recognize the deity on the altar, but you do recognize it as an altar. And to the right, you would see large, grand doorways, doors.
I'm gonna kind of, in a not super loud voice, but in a just above average voice, I'm gonna say, hey, Otis, I think this is for your department and mine. There's a chamber over here with an altar.
Communicating
Oh, telepathically. You know how it is. Told you, dumb at the bottom of the sea, people.
Under the sea.
I'll go over and check it out if there's nothing special in there, and it's just a slip back.
I would like to, refresh your use the one now. No.
It's you, Taddy. You're the one that keeps throwing me error codes every time you move your token.
why, but okay.
Maybe because of the disguise.
It's either... No, I don't think it's the disguise. It might actually be Pearl's aura effect.
Could be.
Because I keep moving in and out of it.
Mm-hmm. It might be. I think that's what it is. I tested it, though. It shouldn't be it. Taddy, you walk over and open that door.
Yeah.
Okay, you see the same thing. Well, no, you don't. Yeah, you do. You see the same thing. You also, Gallon and Taddy, would see that the ceiling was once made of something that has since broken or gone away. So the ceiling is open and there's ambient light coming into this room. It is dimly lit. But you would see the same room that Gallon is looking at.
Anything, you did say there was a clock. Is the clock salvageable?
No, not at all. It's very similar to the books down in the cellar where you go to touch one and it like falls away or crumbles to pieces.
I'm gonna give you all my next moves in advance. I'm gonna just move to the other two rooms that we haven't opened yet.
Okay.
Doors open,
They look exactly the same as the first one you looked in.
and then I beat up the first room. So they all look like bedrooms, except for the room Gowan's at, which apparently, the other door leads to the same room. At least it looks like it does. So I'm gonna try to
It's giving monastery vibes.
Can I check Galson and see if I know anything about what's going on in there?
Yeah, go ahead and make a religion check. You are not familiar with the deity on the altar.
Sorry, Gal.
Fine by me, but I guess this is as good of a room to look through as any other. Let's give it a good search through, eh?
I will, before going into that room, ritual cast detect magic and make sure there's nothing in it.
Okay. Nothing happens. You spend the 10 minutes to do the spell. The only things that light up are your companions.
Do I look for a secret door with the Wand of Secrets?
Not yet.
I want to do a full, thorough sweep of the place. See if there's anything that
Okay.
catches my eye, anything where someone would hide something.
So are you just looking or are you actually like checking things?
It'll be an investigation.
Okay, so make an investigation check. Anybody who's doing the same thing can roll that as well.
like good at
Dude, that's how I felt with
Where
the
is
other
Pearl?
stuff.
So you all move around the room. You don't find like any hidden compartments or anything like that. When you eventually get up to the altar, uh, there is an object of worship that was clearly uh, forged gold. It is a small, maybe foot tall statue of a what appears to be a human male with two wings coming out of his ankles. And he is standing there in like a let's go kind of position, like an about to take off running.
I do a history check
Go for
or
it.
a religion check. I'm sorry.
Yeah, either one.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't know.
All these lines. Jesus.
I know you know, but you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have an idea. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this isn't doing anybody any good. I'm gonna try to pick up the statue. Is it a big statue? How big?
It's about a foot tall. It's about a foot tall, gold forged, sitting on the altar.
Yeah. I'm trying to pick some bitch up to put in my backpack.
Okay. Yeah, it lifts right off. Little heavy, but it lifts.
Okay. Statue. Right.
Put a golden statue in your inventory.
Let's go back out to the hallway and continue exploring.
Is there any more doors leading out of here?
There are the two large doors that were to the right when you guys entered this chamber, and that's it.
Okay.
There are additional doors here aside from the ones we came in.
No,
Okay, got it.
not
So
not other than the main doors. So there's the main doors you guys haven't checked yet, and there's the roof that's open. Other than that, there's no doors aside from the two that you guys came in through.
Let's check the main door.
yeah, sounds cool.
Alright. I mean, we're underwater. While I'm going to check the double door, if somebody wants to swim up and see if there's like another floor.
I'll swim up.
Okay. So you swim up to the top. Give me just a second here. When you come out the surface, or the roof, rather, and it's a good 50 feet up, it's a pretty big building. You come out and take a look around, and for as far as you can see, you are surrounded by buildings. So as far as your dark vision, well, no, it's dim light, so you can see as far as you can see. You are in a city. You are, best you can tell, in a corner of the city. But there are hundreds of buildings surrounding you.
I relay that to the team.
If she's doing that, I'm opening. I'm trying to open it.
They open right up. In front of you, Taddy, you see a courtyard. There is a statue that has broken and crumbled not too far from the front of the building. And you can see, from your point of view, you can see 4 other buildings roughly the same size of the temple you were just in, and numerous smaller ones behind them.
I'm gonna relay. We're here to find that item.
I saw that, Katie. Sorry. Is everybody leaving the temple?
Yeah, I'm gonna go follow Patty.
I will put you guys on the map so you can kind of get an idea of what you are seeing. Taddy, or Pearl, I'm gonna put you out with Taddy.
Okay.
So, even you, Taddy, are able to see all of this. The area is well enough lit from the ambient light. So you swim up a little bit, and you can all see the entirety of this city.
Okay, so
But Caleb, this city looks familiar.
Shut up, Brad. Save that for the post game.
Actually, it looks different. We didn't have the massive temple
Yeah.
thing in the middle. It's not even. It's like a different type of like town hall.
Do I recognize any of the surroundings around us?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Do I recognize any of the buildings or ruins, or do I recognize anything around us? Like, do I recognize being here before?
Make a history check. Well, make a perception check first, and then make a history check.
That one.
You recognize some points of the architecture. Some of these buildings were elven made, some human made, some dwarven made, but you don't recognize anything specifically as you've been here before.
I guess we should ask Gal if she recognizes it.
I can roll for it, but we already talked about how I haven't been in this area before.
Do it, do it.
Am I right, DM?
That's correct.
all right, so
Otherwise, I would have remembered where we were based on my skills.
I am going to say that knowing that we were sent here after a piece of machinery, if we can try and figure out if there's a workshop of some sort in this town, I would wager that would be where we would find this piece of machinery.
As you're talking, everybody make me a perception check.
Boom, roll initiative.
No. Well, yeah. Nope.
So Taddy, you've turned to the group to start discussing next steps, and Pearl, you're paying attention diligently. Odess and Gallon, being a little more water-oriented, you would notice movements coming from what was once streets in this city, and as you look, you can see a number of humanoid shapes moving through the distances of your vision. So they would be like along these outer reaches, you see just humanoid shapes kind of moving in and out of the shadows.
I'm gonna look at Taddy and tell Taddy, hey, your buddy Distra might want to give us better accurate information next time we come out here. I'll point as Gal says that. Above table, that's Otis giving Taddy shit.
So Otis would kind of like point at them as they're coming, and Pearl and Taddy, you would see it. You would see the movement. None of you are able to determine what they are, just humanoid-like shapes. So bipedal with arms. Well, some of them have arms. And moving kind of in and out of the shadows and between buildings.
Well,
Man, can we also see that large building in the center? We can't see that right
Oh, absolutely. No, that building's tower is intact and clearly rises above the rest of the city.
I mean, just based on how prominent it is, and also that there's an actual fucking clock on the clock tower. That's our only sign of any sort of mechanism. I think we should start there.
do they look like they're moving towards us, or are they just darting back?
They are just moving. They're not even darting. They're just kind of sticking to the shadows and the alleys and aimlessly
I guess
moving.
a better question is, like, does it look like there's obvious signs that they know we're here?
No.
Or does this look like people are just in a market moving back and forth?
Yeah, they're just kind of wandering. They're not moving with what seems like any intent or purpose. They're just moving to move, essentially.
Okay. So I would move towards Gallon and Otis. Upon reaching there, seeing what they're seeing, I would say, I mean, that looks like it's the center of town to me, or close to it. That would be a good spot to start. Just keep an eye out for some type of, like I said, machine shop sign or something that says workshop, or someplace somebody would have machinery.
Alright, we'll do that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Because that's what we're here for.
So I have to ask. So go ahead. Sorry.
One more side note on that. We don't know if these machines are actually working or not. So I know you pointed out something moving down there, but besides that, do you happen to see a glow or looks like something's moving? We can go check that out too. Something out of the ordinary that could possibly be what we're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, we don't. So that's where I'll stop.
Okay.
We can do this, guys. We can do this.
My best suggestion is kind of like, I'm gonna suggest like swimming above the town so that way we can see a good layout where everyone is. Anything that looks like a threat. That's my suggestion. Being close but not within like fighting range if need be. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna grab Pearl's hand and say, let's move some light for traveling, since that's hindering you guys with dark vision.
Well, I think right now it's all dim lighting anyways, so I think we can all see what we all see.
Well, the other half is moving with a glowing light will draw
Definitely
attention.
attract people, absolutely.
So
DM, can I clarify with you about one of my spells real quick? Because I just want to make sure before I start burning spell slots.
Sure.
The locate object, is that even going to be a legitimate spell for me to use at this point?
You do not know. Give me 1 second. Let me look it back up.
Fuck, we're doing that spell slot.
Don't adjust your elevation, Mike. I was just trying to do that. It's throwing an error code and resetting every time. So it is your token throwing the error codes. I don't know why. Try taking your disguise off and see if you could do it then.
I'm only asking because I'm going based on the fact of I've never seen this object per se. However, I believe we saw the item that Patty took.
So,
On top of that, I believe she also
Yeah.
showed us drawings and stuff.
give me just a second. So you did get a sketched drawing of the machine with the job order. And it was very, very similar to the one that Taddy stole. So I would argue that you are familiar with it.
Okay.
So locate object would work for you.
Okay. That's all I wanted to make sure I understood that before I started burning the spell slot, thinking it was working and it's definitely using the spell. That's all.
DM,
Yeah.
I have just this notes.
Yeah.
Anything in the notes on this particular situation?
There are. If I remember correctly, there were notes regarding what the machine does, how it pulls arcane energy out of innate objects, and compile, like, every object holds a minute amount of arcane energy, even just like your standard short sword. And if you feed enough of them into this machine, quit fucking with your token, Mike. It's not working.
No, I was checking. Yeah,
Okay. But if you break down enough items and feed them into this machine, you can collect that arcane energy and then imbue it into another item to make it a magical item, essentially. And that's really all the notes that there are about it.
Okay, so we know that piece of machinery, it looks like a jukebox. We know that it needs a bunch of items embedded into it. So yeah, that just strengthens, solidifies the fact that we're going to need to find a workshop of some sort because they're going to have a bunch of shit laying around. So yeah, look for big piles of junk on top of them. Trying to find a workshop. You know, who knows? Maybe they left a scrap pile out back.
Okay. So you guys are gonna swim above the city on your way to the center building, if I understood correctly. Okay. How high do you want to be off the ocean floor?
Just assume my disguise is still on. I'm taking it off for
Okay.
camouflage.
Yeah, I'll put a note under your effects that you're disguised.
What are we thinking? Like another 50
So
feet above the building? Just another 100
You're
feet?
you're about 50 feet off the ocean floor right now. For the standard house clusters between you and the central building, you'll be about 15, 20 feet above their roofs. The temple is taller than them.
So as long as we're already above them, I just say we stay where we are and go.
I agree with that. Let's do it.
Okay. So you
That keeps your vision in range, right? With the ground? Or
Yeah.
can we go? Or can we go higher and we can still see?
Well, once again, I think DM, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have it's dim, so we're all
It's-
seeing the same thing right now.
everything is dim light, so nobody is relying on dark vision right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I think we're good.
Just stay at distance for dim light.
Okay. So you guys begin traveling. Everybody go and make perception checks again.
Seeing something this side. Even if it's like
21, 22, 23.
Oh, and I fucked up. Beautiful. So as you pass over the first cluster of what looked like were once houses, you keeping an eye out are able to see in between the buildings and even in the buildings, for those that you can see within from the broken roofs, a number of undead creatures. Some of them have deteriorated to the point where they are just skeletons. Some of them still have some flesh on them. And Odess and Pearl, you would, well, even Tatty, you would, the three of you would know that they are zombies.
Right.
They do not take notice of you. They continue wandering.
Didn't I fight zombies when we were in the south years ago?
I don't remember if there were any. I know there were undead down there. I don't remember if I threw zombies or not. So, okay, we'll just say there were,
We threw
and
skeletons when we were down there.
It was skeletons, right?
Skeleton.
okay, yeah. But there was the zombie troll or zombie giant. So you would know Minotaur, yeah. So you would know what a zombie is.
Yeah, that somebody's holding a piece of his backpack. Let's keep moving.
No, just like Katie raise her hand.
I don't know
Okay.
what you're talking about.
You continue on your way to the central building. Nothing else of note along the way, just more skeletons, more zombies. And you get to the main structure of this large central building and peek inside of it. And when you look in, you can see. Give me just a second. Okay, hopefully I did this right. It is dimly lit, and I'm gonna put one of your tokens in there. I'll put all of you in there because you're right above it. You can see what looks like a throne room.
Well, obviously somebody works here. Let's see if they have a workshop.
Hey, gal.
Yeah.
You're pretty good, like, traveling underwater, right?
No.
Oh,
I do this in my hobbies. What's up?
fair enough. How far have we traveled since we, like, left that house that we originally came out of to here?
You want to do check for that? Yeah. Morning check.
Are you asking how far from the temple to here?
Yeah, like, because we came up, right? And then we started swimming. So when we first came up out of the temple to here.
Oh, it's only been 200 feet at most. It wasn't a very far swim at all. Took you a couple minutes.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
200 feet.
Okay. I'll cast locate object and see if I get any responses.
Okay. You fucking shit, not fucking working. It does ping. It is, if you look back at the city map, it would be like here-ish, but down.
Okay, yeah, because we're 50 feet back, right?
Yeah. But it's you can tell from the direction it's guiding you that it's underground at that location.
Okay. So I would relay that to the rest of the team and tell them, like, hey, I don't know if this place leads down underneath or the place over there leads down underneath, but what we're looking for is not here.
Point in the direction it is.
Oh yeah. I'm not hiding any of it. I'm relaying all that information to you guys.
Yeah, and he's pointing at the ground before that cluster of buildings. He's like, it's in that direction. So he's not pointing at the houses, he's pointing before the houses to indicate that it's below those houses.
Okay, so we're in the main building of the city. Obviously, it's in the center. It's a big building. A lot of places have tunnels. There could be a tunnel underneath. Although the way you're pointing, the area you're suggesting, there may be houses kind of over it. Is that what I'm understanding, PM?
Yeah.
About the houses? Okay, so the entrance could be at the house. We got choices. Do we want to try and explore this building and see if it leads that direction? Or do we want to go check out the other buildings and see if they have a separate, a different entrance to where we're headed?
My thought is let's go check out the area. I mean, they're houses that you're saying houses, but we don't know if they're shops or homes or we don't really know what they are. I say we go check those out first and see if we can get to where we're going so we can get up out of here.
Great. I'm game for either way because, I mean, at this point, it's dice shoot, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can start with the houses.
All right. Before you head that way, this is obviously a throne room, but there are 3 doors leading off this chamber. One there, and one there. Just for better description of the room. But you guys are going to head over to those houses?
All right, I'm just gonna say this about table. He's got a map to his place, dude. I'm thinking we need to stay here about table.
I mean, if you want to stay here, that's fine. I'm just trying to
But-
get out.
But on table, logically thinking,
You know, you could sub-split the party further, and 2 stay here, 2 go there, and see what happens.
We're not doing that.
Because you said that, fuck it.
I mean, I thought it.
I thought it knew, but I know better. So,
Yeah, I don't.
Michael will get PTSD on that one.
yeah. So I'm just gonna say let's go check out the other building and make sure that there isn't another entrance. Then we can come back here. I mean, ain't nothing stopping us from coming back.
Yeah, true. Unless we get caught.
Okay.
Quick getaway.
So you're going to go check out those houses?
Okay.
You swim over like you did before, and more of the same. You can see into some of the buildings. Looks like they were all homes, just by the general layout and what little bit of furniture is still appearing intact. And you can see moving amongst the buildings a number of undead creatures.
Okay. As we're moving, I'm going to kind of keep watching Otis and, Coach, hoping that Otis is kind of leading us to
Oh,
the
yeah.
spot that he believes we're going to. And then once we get near a building in that vicinity, I'm going to say, let's swim down to the ground level think it's below us. There's no point in going from the top of the building to the bottom of the building when we can just walk through the front door.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. And which building do you want to? Which building do you want to do that to?
So if I'm not mistaken, it
So there's.
was right here that you talked about.
Yep. And you'll notice there's like a little courtyard, and as you get over to the group, it is below the courtyard. Give me 2 seconds. Let me pull up your spell again. Make sure I'm not missing any details I should be giving you. Okay. Nope, I'm not missing anything.
Well, pick the closest building to it. Let's go check the front door.
Start seeing if any of these have a basement or anything, or if there's
Okay.
a manhole or something in the
Alright.
courtyard.
Right.
So you start swimming down, and I'm going to put you guys on the map as I'm talking. You start swimming down, and when you're about 20 feet off the ground, you will notice that the undead start taking notice of you and start moving from the alleys and buildings to fill the courtyard, essentially. And within moments, there are now about 10 skeletons and 15 zombies trickling in, and it looks like there's more following them.
Is there a opening to the building?
All the buildings have doors and windows. Some of them are still there, but severely deteriorated. It looks like if a building is blocked by a door or window, it would not take much to get in.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is, and I'm going to relay this telepathically to the group. We seem to be getting the attention of the undead life down here. If I can get into the building and sneak around, maybe I could try and find an entrance, or find out if there is a basement to the building, instead of us trying to take on a whole horde of undead.
DM, if we stay hovered here and like drew their attention, but obviously can't call them up to us since they're, I'm guessing, not elite swimmers. That would be fine, right? Like they wouldn't attack us.
I mean, they can't attack what they can't reach.
They'll just be paying attention to us while Patty can do a search.
That's what they're doing right now. If you're saying, can you cause a distraction so Taddy can sneak in, you can certainly try. Is the correct term, the correct answer. So what are you guys doing?
Had ideas, so go ahead.
Yeah, we'll just cause a distraction for Patty.
Okay, how do you want to do that?
My immediate thought goes to Pearl, who can be a beacon. However, that might backfire on us a little bit. But it is dim lighting, so.
Speaking of which, make perception checks, everybody.
Giant underwater dragon flies over your head.
Ancient sea fort.
You would all notice that the dim light that was present when you came out of the temple has been slowly decreasing, and you put two and two together, realizing that it is sunset right now. Or the sun is setting, so the light is going away.
Well, they all seem to be attracted to us, so I'll start swimming in a circle around the courtyard, seeing if they follow
I'm gonna say the three of you make a performance check to try and keep them distracted as Taddy tries to do his thing.
Fucking
Pearl, a performance check, please.
you got this, girl.
So Galen and Odess, you swim around and you're like, "Hey, over here," and they kind of like look at you, and just seem disinterested. And then you start hearing a banging noise, and you look over, and Pearl is banging her trident on her shield like a gladiator getting ready for a fight. And the loudness, the loudness of the noise is attracting them over to her, giving Taddy a chance to slip with it into a building. Taddy, you enter the building. It was clearly a house at one point. You look around, you can see the remnants of what was once a dinner table and a cook place, some shelves where, assumably, food and spices and bowls and such were kept. The place is pretty well deteriorated from its time underwater.
Okay. Do I see any movement, and do I see any basement doors, trap doors?
Go ahead.
Something to indicate a basement.
Go ahead and make an investigation check as you check for doors. As far as movement goes, you can see the undead out in the courtyard swarming after Pearl, trying to grasp at her. Not getting her, but trying to. And you quickly move yourself around this main room checking. You do actually find a small trap door, kind of in the back of the room near the cook place. And as you move a rug to the side, you see the little metal ring handle that would indicate a trapdoor.
Telepathically, I will relay. I found a trap door. I'm gonna pop it open, see where it leads, and try and open it.
Okay. It opens easily with a slight creaking noise to it. You stick your head in and look. There's what was once a ladder. It goes down maybe 5 feet to the ground, so there's dirt at the base of it, and then a small hallway. And as you kind of stick your head around to try and look down the hallway, it is too dark, and you cannot make out what is there.
Yeah, I assumed I wouldn't be able to see it since I don't have dark vision, but can I determine the direction? Because I head back towards the courtyard. You know how sometimes when you're looking down into a shaft,
It.
not like you can catch the wall.
Yeah, I'm trying to visualize. Ping exactly which building you went in on that map.
Well, by his ping, he said it was right about here, right?
Center of the courtyard is where
Yeah.
he is going.
So I was way through this one.
That one. So you were traveling to the right when you went into the building. No, the hallway goes south.
Okay. So I will relay this path seems to lead away from where we need to go. I'm gonna try and stealth my way out into this building.
Okay.
One
So
right north of it.
okay, go ahead and make another stealth check.
Oh, okay. 22.
22. Okay.
Hide it, but
It's alright. Alright, so you approach the front door of the first house you went to and peek out, and all of the undead are still distracted by Pearl banging on her shield. And you quickly swim out and over into the next building. This one has like a half deteriorated door. The opening is just small enough that you won't be able to squeeze through it.
okay.
This building does not have a window on the face that you are looking at.
Okay, do I remember seeing a whole roof?
You do not
We're
recall.
above it. Okay. I'll try and swim upwards
Okay.
and take a look at the window.
Okay. As you start swimming upwards, your foot catches one of the tiles of the second story balcony and it falls to the ground and clatters on a rock. And you look back and you can now see some of the undead that were distracted by Pearl noticing you and heading in your direction. You continue your upward swim, however, and they can't get you, but they are aware that you are over there, and they are focused on you now.
Did I find a hole in the roof?
You did not find a hole in the roof. However, you get up to the upper level. I'm going to spread you guys over the courtyard here. And kind of start checking the side walls of the second story. And as you do so, you notice a window that is missing around the side of the building.
Okay. I will try and slide in there stealthily.
Okay.
Okay, is there something inside?
You slip yourself inside the building, seemingly unnoticed.
Okay.
And we are going to stop there because we are actually overtime because I got distracted and wasn't paying attention. You got 2 whole extra minutes. But, all right. Hopefully Katie had fun doing a little text adventure,
I did.
which you guys will get filled on when you get back.
And without them knowing what was going on.
Yeah, they probably won't find out for like 2 more weeks. So, but thanks everybody for coming to watch the stream. We super appreciate it. We will see you Wednesday for Curse of Strahd, Friday for Lord Z's Fantastical Dungeon, on their way to kill a god dragon. Possibly. And back here next week for Waters of the Deep to see if they can figure out where they need to go in this giant sunken city that is unmapped, uncharted, and unknowingly been to before. With that, thank you for coming. Have a nice holiday weekend. Be safe, and we will see you next time. Bye.